Hello everyone, welcome to another video going over Gargoyle Gecko breeding. I hope to continue making informational and educational videos about all the cool stuff I keep and breed here at Captive Yeti Exotics. This video will go over morphs, genetics, and different phenotypes in Gargoyle Geckos. You'll see the videos of my breeders to start. Then we'll transition into the babies of 2024, going over how their colors develop as they grow. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more great content. You can also find CO Exotics on TikTok and Instagram. There are a few basic morphs or phenotypes when it comes to gargoyle geckos. The first one we'll discuss is striped. This phenotype is my favorite and what I focus on for most of my projects. With stripes, you have two subcategories, one being base and the other being color of the dorsal stripes. My focus is on creating high color striped babies, so red base with red and orange stripe. Another phenotype is reticulated, or retic for short. I currently don't have any retics to show as an example, but retic is a very dominant phenotype, which means it overpowers the stripe phenotype in most circumstances. If you breed stripe to retic, you'll get over 90% of the babies hatching out with reticulated pattern. Also, if you breed two stripes together, you still have maybe around a 10% chance of producing a retic. The third phenotype is blotched. It's a phenotype that follows retic, or like a sub-phenotype of retic, and consists of large blotches of color alongside the reticulated pattern. We have had 13 babies hatch out so far in 2024, and a lot more on their way. We have plenty of eggs, just collected eggs again today. The breeder adults have been maintaining their weight and overall health, even though they consistently breed all year for me. I do constantly check on everyone periodically, and if there was any sign of a decline in weight or health, I will separate immediately and give that individual recovery time before reintroducing. Just remember that the health and the welfare of your animals should always be your top priority. We're not just forcing animals into prostitution so we can steal their babies and sell them for a profit. If you do want to breed, always make sure the welfare of your animals come first. You want to do this as ethically as possible, and I don't condone the hoarding of animals or the suffering of anything, so please just be mindful. When you keep a large collection like this, a lot of my time is just spent caring for everything and just focusing on projects. I do have a very, very short social life outside of reptiles, so please just be mindful of that, and let's get into some of the babies. In these first few clips, you'll see baby X66. This is the 66th baby that Group X has produced. I am going to upgrade how I keep track of babies and information. So X66 is what this one is, and you'll see my new system later on. There's a couple little clips here of just trying to show you how his colors have developed since now until this next clip. In this next clip, you'll see that the orange and the red dorsal pattern has really brightened and expanded. So a lot of babies are born really dark, if not sometimes jet black, and as they shed and grow, they develop more and more color. So it was really interesting to see, especially on this one. You see now that orange is much thicker, the red dorsal is a little bit more apparent. The base color, I find, when it's a red base color, it develops later. So a lot of times your babies that are super jet black in areas, those areas are going to turn bright red as they grow. But this is a really good example of that color just getting way more intense as they grow. In this next clip, you're going to see X65, which is this one's sibling. Also, you can see it started off with a really, really dark black striping in places with a bright orange. And even as this one develops, you'll see the color really intensify. Like I said, where you're seeing jet black is probably going to be the bright red base color as it develops. So I'll keep adding more to this and editing and reposting as babies develop. These first ones, I did not save the video of them hatching out of the egg. You'll see later on I do have videos of hatchlings from when they hatched to a few months later. But here's X65 after the first video, and you can see that orange is really, really filling out, and that black is starting to lighten up a bit. It's just going to have absolutely insane colors as adults. I can't wait to see this one grown up. Up next, we have another absolutely gorgeous baby. This one kind of missed the mark for me. It's still a beautiful baby, Y42, but this one's probably going to end up just being a base stripe without a lot of additional color down the dorsal. So you'll see where the white is, it will probably turn like a pinky color, and the sides of the back dorsal is just going to turn like anywhere from pink to maroon. So this is going to be more of a base stripe as it develops than a high color stripe that I'm looking for. Still a gorgeous, healthy baby, but this one kind of missed the mark on the base pattern 2-color stripe. But even you can see that pink as it develops, or that red color is showing as pink in those dorsal lines. It is very apparent, so I'm not worried about this one. I'm not gaining color as it grows. It's going to be an absolutely gorgeous adult, but once again, doesn't quite fit in my lines. I do have some of these babies posted on Morph Market, so if you guys want to head over to Morph Market and purchase any of these babies, you can always find me there or email me directly at CY Exotics. This is a sibling to the other one. You can see this one has that same white stripes that's showing a little bit of red through them, but also has a much more bright red dorsal pattern. So still a very, very gorgeous gecko. I don't think I quite hit the mark with this one. So it's probably gonna be a red base with maybe a darker red dorsal stripes. But once again, it's nowhere near developed its color yet, so we'll keep updating you guys on this one as well. Oh, and this is Y41 completely fired down. I don't always catch them fired up, so sometimes, if I catch them fired down, I'll still take videos of them. I try to keep the videos of all the babies around the same time frame, so you can tell the bigger ones are going to consistently be bigger. Up next, we have hatchlings. These two were very interesting. They both hatched at the same time overnight, but it seems like the one that hatched early in the night was spooked by the second one that hatched later and actually dropped his tail, which is, sad. It happens. It's pretty rare for me to have hatchlings drop their tails right out of the egg, but sometimes they're easily startled, so I'm not too surprised that, the one lost his tail because his sibling spooked him. But you'll see the colors of these guys after this. Even after their first shed, they're so much more colorful. Also, that one is very dramatic, very energetic. I always like to see baby gargoyles being alert and active. Sometimes they're kind of calm, as in they're scared and they stay still, but sometimes right out of the egg they're jumping around and being a menace. I love to see it. Some eye licking action. And you can see that they jostle those two eggs beneath them. Nothing to worry about. Those eggs are so far along developed that I'm not worried about them like rotating the eggs and damaging the embryo. There is almost full babies in both those eggs, and they actually hatch out later on too. You'll see in one of the videos of the next group of babies where those eggs are actually hatched. But yeah, this was definitely interesting to find early in the morning. I try to check every morning for eggs, and then every evening before I go to bed. So, and you can see the larger one without the tail is actually fully shed, where this one is only starting to shed. Here is the one that's missing his tail later on, and you can see that vibrant white with that vibrant orange ready dorsal stripes. This one is actually pretty small, so it's spending a lot of its energy trying to regrow its tail than it is growing. And you'll see in the next clip too that this one's sibling actually is much larger and more colorful. All the nutrition he's eating is going into his own growth and development instead of regrowing a tail. And you can see those colors are absolutely just popping out. This is a really, really good example of what I'm trying to produce. That bright red dorsal doesn't quite go all the way down its spine, but the orange flank dorsals go all the way down, and it's going to have a really nice red base color. This one was incredibly unique. This was a very, very bright white right out of the egg. And you can see some red speckles down the dorsal. Someone actually already purchased this one for me because they want to try to create a high white breeding project. But this isn't like any real genetics. It's not anthristic or anything. Sometimes you just get random babies. I get random babies with random colors that don't make sense all the time. It's just the phenotypes at work. Some are more dominant than others, and some just, you hit the lottery, so to speak, and they just produce a weird baby, but there's no genetics to be passed on after that. They're just a unique baby with no actual genes. And you can see this is one that hatched out right in my hand. I did post this on YouTube Shorts. If I catch them pipping and I am about to leave for the weekend and go to Expo, I kind of just do this just to get them put away so they're not in the container for more than 24 to 48 hours before they get put away. And I can see how this one really developed its color too. So you went from that dark gray, almost black baby into this very vibrant, beautiful baby. This is something that I'm targeting for. So you see that red dorsal stripe in between the orange dorsal stripe, and it's gonna have a beautiful red base color. Of course, I want the thickest, brightest stripes possible, but this is a pretty good start. Might end up being a holdback, just so I could try to further produce these red base, red and orange stripes. Here's another baby. Oh yeah, this one's clutch mate. When I went to go harvest, had a dud for a clutch mate, a collapsed egg. So this one's the only baby of this clutch. Still absolutely gorgeous. The X group has been putting out some great babies. Even though the father is much darker in color, not such a bright red, a lot of their babies are just bright red base with red and orange stripes. And this baby is definitely a cutie. Another one I believe is Fire Down, but still an amazing looking baby, and still not even done developing his colors. I'll post another video updating you guys on all these babies, how they progress. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Here's two babies that hatched out almost jet black, as you can see, with those white stripes. And then in this next clip, you'll see that even after only a couple sheds, I think they hatched out 2 weeks before I took this other video. Their colors just really intensify, and they're absolutely gorgeous. And you can see that almost bronzy reddish orange dorsal pattern with those white stripes. Still a great looking baby. A lot of times I find they don't keep the white stripes. The white stripes will eventually bleed through color, so it'll be like a lighter red, and whether you see the jet black will be a bright red. So it's like kind of a light pinky color with a nice bright red. But once again, their colors are just going to keep going insane. You see this one actually has very, very thick white stripes. Came out very nice. And then next up we have babies from Group A. So Group A is kind of cool. Group A consists of who I call Little Don. I bought him probably 8 years ago as a 2-year-old male from Don Hamper at the Hamburg Reptile Expo. Don has since passed away, but he's the first one to ever do a reptile expo in the U.S., right out of his friend's home in Cleveland, Ohio. And from there, all other reptile expos kind of copied that format and started opening up all over the U.S. But Don was an absolute legend in the industry, and I was so happy to get my first gargoyle off of him. The female in Group A is actually a 2022 baby from Group X. So that's little Don's partner, and I'm happy to keep Don's genetics alive. So it's definitely awesome that I was able to get those two together. Here we have just on the left is eggs that are going to hatch within the next couple of weeks. On the right are eggs I just collected today. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Also leave any questions or ideas in the comments. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel, you guys can always go to my Morph Market page, or you guys can email me at CYExotics if you guys want to pick up a t-shirt to help support the channel. Everything you guys do is always appreciated. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hope we see you next time.